Hi, it's Miss Vitale. This is the fourth in a series of podcasts on plants for AP Biology. It focuses on plant nutrition and transport. 95% of a plant's dry weight is organic material made from carbon dioxide absorbed by the leaves. Sugars, like glucose, C6H12O6, comes from CO2 and water. Sugars are used by the plant to make everything else. Plants use minerals from soil to make hormones, enzymes, etc. Minerals contain nitrogen, phosphorus, and magnesium. Solutes taken up by the roots are controlled by membranes. Roots increase surface area for absorption via root hairs. Those are extensions of the epidermis. Everything absorbed by the roots are in solution. The cells of the roots have selectively permeable membranes that decide what gets to the xylem. There are two routes to the xylem. The intracellular route is also called the symplastic route, and it's when water and solutes enter the root hair. The solutes pass through the epidermal membranes, which select which solutes enter and which don't. The root cells are connected by plasmodesmata, so it's a direct channel without crossing cell membranes to the endodermis. Once in the endodermis, the solution enters the xylem. The extracellular route is also called the apoplastic route. Water and solutes enter the root hair, the cell walls and the root hair cell walls, and travel through the walls of the cell, not the cytoplasm. The solution doesn't cross any cell membranes. When the solution reaches the endodermin, the Casparian strip, which is a waxy strip, stops it from entering the xylem cell's walls. Solution must cross the membrane of the endodermal cell and enter the cytoplasm to access the xylem. The endodermal membranes select the solutes. As we've discussed before, xylem tissue is made of tracheids and vessel elements. Those are tubes of dead cell walls. Each cell has holes in the ends, so it creates a continuous root. Xylem sap is a solution of inorganic nutrients from the roots. Root pressure is involved in water and solutes entering the roots. As the ion concentration in the xylem increases, water enters and pushes the solution up. This doesn't account for a lot of the force that draws water up the xylem. Transpiration does. This is the loss of water from the leaves due to evaporation, and it occurs through the stomata. Cohesion and adhesion are also involved in the xylem sap moving up, is when water molecules stick together due to hydrogen bonds. Adhesion is the sticking together of molecules of different kinds. Water molecules stick to the cellulose molecules in the walls of the xylem. Adhesion counteracts the downward pull of gravity and holds water in the xylem when transpiration is not occurring. All this tied together creates the transpiration-cohesion-tension mechanism, and remember, no energy is needed. The transpiration exerts the pull on the string of water molecules. The cohesion holds the water molecules together, and the tension is when the transpiration and cohesion cause tension on the string of water molecules. Stomatas are openings in the leaves, and they regulate transpiration. Guard cells on each side of the stomata regulate it. The stomata is usually open in the day, where CO2 enters for photosynthesis, and closed at night. The phloem has sieve tube members. These are food-conducting cells arranged end to end. The phloem sap is a sugary solution, usually sucrose, and it moves through the plant in different directions, from the sugar source to the sugar sink. The sugar source could be the site of photosynthesis or where starch is being broken down. The sugar sink is the place where the sugar is stored or used. The sugar sink can be the growing roots, the stems, or the fruit. For example, potato is a sugar sink in the summer and a sugar source in the spring. The pressure flow mechanism is what regulates the movement of sap through the phloem. As at the sugar source, sugar enters the phloem by active transport, therefore raising the concentration inside the phloem. This causes water to enter the phloem, therefore raising pressure. At the sugar sink, the sugar solution leaves the phloem, therefore lowering the concentration in the phloem. High pressure at the source end and low pressure at the sink end causes the flow of sap. Plants normally need 17 essential elements to survive normally. 9 of them are macronutrients and needed in larger amounts. Carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus are major ingredients of organic compounds, and they account for 96% of the plant's dry weight. The other 3 are calcium, potassium, and magnesium. 8 of the 17 essential elements are micronutrients: iron, chlorine, copper, manganese, zinc, molybdenum, boron, and nickel. Micronutrients are needed in very small amounts, and they're mainly used for cofactors and enzymes. Fertile soil provides all the essential nutrients and yields healthy plants. Soil has 3 layers called soil horizons. The A horizon, or topsoil, is at the top 20 centimeters, which is about 8 inches. It is the part that is exposed to weather. It has large particles of rock and small particles of sand and clay. It retains water and allows oxygen to diffuse to the roots of plants. It also contains humus, which is decomposed organic material, and it contains living organisms that live in the soil. B horizon has less organisms and less organic matter, and the C horizon is mainly broken down rocks. Underneath all that is the bedrock. Although root hairs increase surface area for absorption, most plants extend the root surface with fungi. MYCORRHIZA is a mutualistic relationship between roots and fungi. The fungal filaments around the root increase the surface area and help absorb water and ions much better than roots alone. Some water and ions taken up by fungi are transferred to the plant. The fungus also secretes acid that increases the solubility of minerals. Plants' photosynthetic products nourish the fungi. Nitrogen fixation is a vital process not only to ecosystems, but it is part of the nitrogen cycle. Our air is 78% nitrogen. Gaseous N2 can't be used by plants. In order for plants to absorb nitrogen from the soil, it must be converted to ammonium, NH4+, or nitrate, NO3-. Certain soil bacteria convert nitrogen to NH4 or NO3. Nitrogen is needed to make amino acids. Legumes are plants that have bacteria that live in the root nodules that fix nitrogen. Peas, beans, clovers, alfalfa, and peanuts are examples of legumes.